Okay, so you obviously have a collection here.
I have a collection of Foo Dogs, Asian temple guardians or door guardians, depending. Normally there's two of them, and sometimes one has a cub under one paw and one has a sphere under the other. So they don't always have to do that, but most of the Chinese ones do. The Japanese ones don't, but the Japanese ones tend to be more exotic with their tails and their curls and with their mouths being opened or closed. This is probably a collection of 200-ish if you count them individually. Most of them are in pairs, but not all of them are in pairs. They run the gamut of Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Indonesian, like Myanmar. Really fun collection. Some of them were gifts and some of them were purchased. I think if I were to look at the one that started it all, it would be this one, which was a gift from my husband. And I've seen several others like that, which have been in a very shiny ceramic or with the jewels glued into the eyes. But that was the impetus that got me started.
In the mid-90s.
It was the mid-90s, yes, indeed. And you know, there's a different approach that each culture takes to their guardian animals.
I like the ones down on the bottom that have fleas and are scratching.
Ceramic ones in the back, yes.
Oh wow, I see those. Oh, I've never seen anything like that.
It's very, very neat, very unique. Some of the ones that I have do have a pair that I don't have the pairing of. So this blue one here has a pair that doesn't have a ball that I have been looking for over the years, but no worries.
Let's see, this one doesn't have a pair.
That one does have a pair. It's just sort of tucked way over
Hey,
there.
I see.
Some of them are not Foo Dogs, such as the one you're looking at now. This is sort of a turtle god with a removable thing for a container. These are sort of I think they're referred to as a Kailoon, and they normally have horns and hooves rather than Foo Dog accessories. Something like this would normally be on the side of a vessel. So this brass piece would have been on the side of a vessel, and there'd be a pair of them on either side of the vessel. But I guess they've broken off over the years and they sold it to me separate.
What is the significance of the like ribbon type thing?
The ribbon coming from the Foo Dog's neck involves a story of I don't know if it was be a god or just a powerful person chopping off the head of one of the dogs. And the patron of these dogs was so appalled that they tied the head back on with a ribbon. And so the ribbon is what holds the dog's head onto the body. And that's why some of them do have this ribbon, because it's to honor that patron who loved them so much that they tied the head back onto them and let them live. A lot of small soapstone ones will have engravings on them, and then on the bottom they'll be engraved with a stamp of some saying or another, depending on who it is. It's sometimes the person's name, sometimes not. There's fun groupings that are a little box, so you can see the funness of that kind of collection. Salt and pepper shakers. People have really
There's an ashtray.
had a great relationship with these Foo Dogs. A lot of incense burners and other type vessels. Here's an incense burner with the lid taped onto it so it doesn't fall off accidentally.
You have a teapot.
I do have a teapot. The teapot itself not on this particular shelf.
Oh, so you got other places you keep your Foo Dogs also.
I do have there's probably another 50 to 75 Foo Dogs not on this shelf.
Wow.
So it's a fun piece of history to collect these things. I don't know how old some of them are. Some of them are pretty old. Some of them would be rather new. I think these would be rather new. I think they're just poured plastic pulled out of a mold. Just like the pot. This one is not necessarily a Foo Dog. Again, it's one of those type of horned Kylun-ish type animals. But I thought it was so unique and so cool that I got it and its pair with the ball under its foot.
That's nice. What is happening right here?
This one is
Suckling on its foot with something?
there's an old tale that the tiger, for countries that didn't have tigers, particularly in Asia, that the tiger would feed its young through nipples in the paw. And so that's why a lot of Foo Dogs will have the tiger, which they view as a guardian entity, so they viewed it as a tiger, with the cub underneath the paw looking like it's feeding on the paw. It was a, you might call it a rumor, or an old wives' tale.
Sounds like a rumor.
But they actually believed it, and so the cub under the paw, in a lot of cases, was because they're suckling.
Oh,
There's
wow.
some, like this one, I have the cub is on the back of this Foo Dog instead of being underneath the paw, which I felt that was rather odd, because normally, like this one, the cub is underneath the paws, like so many of these other ones. It's a strange thing. There is an order to the placement when there's a circle and a cub. They're normally not under the same paw, because you would want to protect the entryway that you're putting these guardians on by having the ball and the cub closer to the entryway. And that way, as you're coming through these guardian animals, if you had any ill intentions, these things being close to you would negate your ill intentions as you entered the house. Sort of a feng shui kind of thing to say, protect this house and take the bad energy away.
Right.
As
I
you
put
come
mirrors up for the same reason. Yeah.
Yes. It's the same thing. It's the same
Yeah.
idea. And so if you see a doorway where they've got these things on the outside, so they're reversed, that's not necessarily following with the tradition of placing them. You know, if that were the case, maybe as you're exiting the house, you bring your energy with you and it's not dissipated as you go out into the world. So
You keep that shit to yourself.
maybe, I don't know. But there's all kinds of fun things. Like these two are more in the European tradition of Foo Dogs than in an Asian tradition of Foo Dogs, because they have a very similar appearance. So on both sides of the window or the door, wherever you place them, it's the same protection. It's the same thing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the lesson in your wonderful collection of Foo Dogs.
Yeah, I'll keep growing it.
Oh, yes.